who I am, and that is how I operate. There is no job too small for me to take on as a coordinator. I've taken them all on. From sitting with a local president that's brand new and has no idea what's going on and scared to death. And I sit with them, and I meet with them, and I travel to them so that they can understand that it's going to be okay. That is hands-on leadership, and that is my style, and that's how I do it. Thank you.
Jonathan, what is your leadership style, and how will you ensure that the union is responsive to the needs and concerns of all members?
To describe my style in one word, it would be accountability. The Constitution holds every officer accountable for what they do. I will hold them accountable. I'm not going to go in there and try to run the clerk craft. You got a clerk craft director. I'm not going to try to run the maintenance craft. That's what the maintenance craft director for. I'm not going to do motor vehicle. That's what the director is for. But what I am going to do is I'm going to hold them accountable. You are accountable, and what we're lacking is accountability. No one is being held accountable. Everybody is kicking the can up the street. It's never nobody's fault. Nobody knows and stuff like that. My style is accountability. I don't take, and transparency. In New York Metro, we are very transparent. We give a detailed financial report of every dime being spent in New York Metro. So we are transparent about everything that we are doing with the members' money. And last but not least, honest. I'm not going to just bullcrap you and tell you something because it sounds good or I think that's what you want to hear. I'm going to be honest with you. And if things looking bad and it's hurting, I'm going to tell you, hey, things ain't looking good, but that don't mean we're going to stop fighting and stuff like that. People respect honesty. They respect when you're honest with them. And so I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to be transparent, and I'm always going to be honest. And as long as I follow those three traits, it has always served me well. And but probably the most important, and some people want to hear, but I'm going to say it because I am who I am. I'm going to trust God because God is what brought me this far, and God is bringing me to wherever I'm going.
AJ, opportunity for rebuttal. Next question, we'll start with you. Forgot who went first. AJ. Jonathan went first. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, my apologies. AJ, oh, they're opposite way, Jonathan, I'm sorry. What steps do you think are necessary to protect the APWU from the current threats of anti-union executive orders plaguing federal workers? I'm going to repeat that question. What steps do you think are necessary to protect the APWU from the current threats of anti-union executive orders plaguing federal workers?
We're going to have to be very honest and very aggressive. And I said I wasn't going to say this during this debate, and I don't have a problem with Republican or Democrat. I have a problem with an attack on the Postal Service. When somebody says that the Postal Service is a joke, I got a problem with that. When somebody is attacking our benefits, I got a problem with that. When someone wants to take the supplement, I got a problem with that. And I have that same problem that I have that you can't talk about excessing, you can't talk about privatization, you can't talk about closing without talking about the joy. Well, you can't talk about these things without talking about Trump. It's coming from the Trump administration. The Trump administration has been very clear about what they want to do to the postal workers. And now all of a sudden we're thankful to be postal workers and not federal workers, because anytime a holiday you want to be a federal worker, but you're thankful to be a postal worker now, right? Because those federal workers, he has devastated them. And we have to keep putting those examples in front of people so that people can see what is going on. Privatization is real. The destruction of the Postal Service is realer than it's ever been before. And we want to run around here and we want to play politics because we don't want to offend a Republican or we don't want to offend a Democrat. No, the offense is what they're doing to us. And I'm just going to say it like it is. Trump got to go. Trump is stealing us. Trump didn't steal it. And we're doing ourselves a disservice when we try to talk around Trump. Trump has no love for us. Trump wants to get rich off of us. Trump wants to privatize us. And when we don't put it out there, it's for people who are all on APWU.org talking about, I can't believe that you endorse. But did they sign up for this? Did they sign up for what's going on in this country right now? Trump has definitely got to go. Trump is going to privatize the Postal Service at the first chance he gets. And if we don't wake up in the next election, meaning the midterm election, to take some of that power and some of that authority, I will be pushing very hard at the midterm election to take the House back, to take some control back, because it's the best way to control our fate.
AJ, what steps do you think are necessary to protect the APWU from the current threats of anti-union executive orders plaguing federal workers?
So I'm going to go back to our toolboxes, folks. We have a legislative department that does a very good job for us. We fight every day. Everything that comes to our attention, we're in there. We're meeting with our representatives. You folks are meeting with your representatives, and we know that because we hear about it. And we push, and we push. And there are regular notices that come out from APWU about this. I would suggest that our legislative department would be the key for us in this battle. Privatization of the United States Postal Service cannot happen by a swipe of a pen. He could try. He could try. He's tried a lot of stuff. This is going to take an act of Congress. So where do we take the battle? We take it to Congress. We have surrogates in the field. We have COPA that we could do better on. We have meetings across this country. If we collaborate with our legislative department, our local and state organizations, our members, and our communities, along with our representatives, we can collaborate a decent position to hold back. You are already starting to see some backpedaling going on with all this nonsense. Look at the attack on our benefits. The supplement got pulled back. The high 3, the high 5 got pulled back. The 4.4 got pulled back. This is because of what we all are doing, all of us, as the American Postal Workers Union. Not the national, not a particular local, all of us. Folks, you know what that tells me? We can join together as one because you folks are doing it already. All you need is a little more guidance and get to the front line. Educate and train our people at the front line to move in the direction we need them to move. And is everybody going to be on the same page? Hell no, they're not going to be on the same page because people vote for what they think is important to their life and how they live. And they have a right to do that. But we have an obligation to educate people beyond that so that they understand what the risk is in front of us. Thank you.
Rebuttal, Jonathan? What do you need? Oh. That's okay. This will be the last question. I'll start with you, AJ. What is your experience and knowledge of regional and national arbitrations?
So I'm going to answer this in the manner that I think the question is phrased. My experience, I'll first talk about regional arbitrations. As a local president, when I was elected in 2006 and forward, I attended all but 2 arbitrations out of my local. I mostly was the TA in every single one of those cases. I testified in probably 90% of those cases because as a local president, I had involvement in those cases. And management hated it. They did not want me testifying. They tried everything. The bottom line is I got to testify because I knew the background of the case. I knew every arbitrator, and they know I don't lie, and they have said it. So my experience as a local president is very in-depth as it relates to cases in my local. Business agents would come in, we would work together, and I like to say Bob Romanowski tells everybody this. He and I have never lost a grievance in my local when I was local president. Never. We won every single one of them, and I'm proud about that. National arbitrations, I've had the opportunity to sit in on some of those. When invited and offered, I have sat in. They get handled a little bit differently, but not much. And most recently, being a regional coordinator, I have attended a number of those. And so they don't really do much different, except for really through our attorneys and the Postal Service's attorneys that really put these arguments on. We developed a case with them, but they put our cases on. And so that would be a limited experience for me in the national arbitration, because I've been in this job for 5 years and I haven't had much of an opportunity to get there. But we are putting cases on pretty regular now, and I look forward to sitting in more of them. Thank you.
Jonathan, what is your experience and knowledge of regional and national arbitrations?
Regional arbitrations, I study them pretty thoroughly in the Northeast region because it's important for me to know the arbitrators, to know what kind of cases I can put in front of what arbitrator. You can't hear me? I need to know what this arbitrator record is so I can know whether to move forward with certain cases in front of this arbitrator. So I keep a pretty good record of how the arbitrators rule in the Northeast region in order to try to direct certain cases towards these arbitrators to give the members that I represent the best results. As far as the national arbitrations, I keep up with them somewhat, mostly maintenance, because I am a maintenance worker of 37 years, and because this gives me an idea on where to go to fight different type cases if I know how they were ruled at the national level. I do not track them as well as I track the regional arbitrations, because the regional arbitrations more directly affect me. In certain cases, for certain arbitrators, I'm going out of my way not to get certain cases in front of these arbitrators because I know that they rule on behalf of management 90% of the time. So I do keep a running list of the arbitrators in the Northeast region that are on my panels, and I don't deal with them outside of research purposes. Do I deal much with the national arbitration cases?
AJ? No rebuttal? Since that was the last question, we will have the candidates offer their final remarks, and we will do so in inverse order of the opening remarks. Each candidate will have up to 5 minutes. AJ.
So first and foremost, I want to thank Jonathan for this opportunity to sit with him up here together and respond to your questions and make our statements. This is a great process, and this is what it should look like. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here to listen to us and hear what we have to say to you. I want to thank the people that are watching, wherever they're watching from, and I'll thank people ahead of time who will watch later. For those of you that know me, you know that I am an all-in type of guy. There is no halfway with A.J. Jones. I am in or I am out. And when I'm in, I'm all in. And that's just the way it is for me. There's no other way for me to know how to do it. I say to you today that I am all in. And what I mean by that is that I am your current Eastern Region Coordinator. I have made a decision to go all in my quest to be your next National APWU President. If I'm not successful, I'm done and I go away. That is the risk that I have put on the table. I could have taken the easy way out. and I could have just re-ran for the position I have. And I would not have to have worried about the expenditure, the travel, the time away from my family. But I made a decision with my family that I bring something to the table that will better this union in the future. And I believe that, and I believe many of you in this room believe that as well. So that is why I stand before you, and that is why I am all in on this particular quest. I believe I have a new vision that I've explained, a new direction, the change we need for the future we deserve. It will not happen overnight, folks. Nothing will be fixed quickly. It will only be fixed when we're all in together. I need all in, just like me. I'm leading the way, I'm all in. I need you all to be all in. I need the members to be all in. I need them to join this fight, a fight like we've never seen before. And it is not going away. We are here to stand as strong as we can. My knowledge, skills, and experience over 37 years provide me the best opportunity to be your next APWU national president. I believe that. My work that I've done in all aspects of this union, I believe, prepare me for this job. Remember, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. The future, our members, your locals, and this great organization is in your hands. It's in our members' hands. And I urge and support all of you to support me and vote for me in this election so I can carry forward my vision, my direction, secure the change that we need for the future we deserve. Remember this, our members do not want to hear what we're going to do for them. Talk is cheap, as my father used to say. They want to see it with their eyes, and they want to feel it in their heart. They want to feel what we're doing for them, not hear what we're going to do for them. You can only demonstrate that by living every day like that. And then one day a person will say, you know what? You did a pretty good job for me. And that's reaping the benefit of the hard work that we do. I'm going to ask you all to do this for me. Be kind to one another, please. No one knows what another person is going through from day to day. And we're not in their shoes, but we could be tomorrow. We're all just one test result away from something bad. Or we're all just one phone call away of something great that says, guess what? I'm going to be a grandpa now. So we can go either way, but be kind to people. Folks, hate will not make us great. Remember it. Hate will not make us great. And I stole that phrase from my 15-year-old daughter who all three of our children, you all know this. Thank you.
Jonathan, you will now have your opportunity for closing remarks.
Most of you, if not all of you, know me. And no matter what your opinion of me is, you know that I'm a fighter. You've seen me out on the convention floor. You've seen me on the videos. You've seen me basically raising hell everywhere because I fight. And I fight hard because I care. I've been fighting for the members of APWU for a very long time. And they know that I care. They have tried to do everything to New York Metro, and a lot of people like to say that New York Metro is special because of its size. No, New York Metro is special because of its work. New York Metro is special because of its accomplishment. New York is special because of its leadership. New York Metro is special because we get out there in the streets when we have to. New York Metro is special because we don't just walk the walk. We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. We get out there and encourage the people that this is a fight. This is a fight, and a lot of people accuse me of being a bully. Well, what do you think you have in the White House right now? You better have a bully sitting across the table from him. You better have a fighter that's ready to go to the mat with him. That is me. I ask for your vote. I ask for your support. I ask you to go to my campaign page, Jonathan Smith for Prez, and you will see my accomplishments throughout the years. I'm talking about 30 years of involvement, 30 years of action, 30 years of raising hell. It's time. And I'm taking a risk too. And I understand that. And let me say this. I have so much respect and love for A.J. Jones. There's no dirt being thrown out there. It's two people that passionately love their union, and we're not trying to shine by making the other person look bad, and I love that. And we both believe it. And AJ is not dumb, because if I'm the president, I will not allow that skill to walk away. I will find some place for him. He is not dumb. I just believe right now, at this moment, in these times, I'm the best person for this job, for this mission, for this challenge. People say, why would you want to do this job? Are you crazy? You know how hard this job is going to be. You know the new Postmaster General is coming in there. You know what his reputation is for privatization. Why would you want to do this job? Because it's hard. I want to do it because it's hard. Why would I want to do something easy? I got here fighting all the odds. I'm here because they said I couldn't do it, but I did. I'm here. They said, oh no, this old country boy with the gold tooth from Florida, he'll never make it in the big city. I took it over. Because I lead with my passion, I lead with my fight, I lead with my care. But at the end of the day, you can not like the way I talk, not like the way I walk, but look at the results. And the results will say, just like I wanted to say at the end of my life, job well done. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I want to thank both of you for following the rules. That was supposed to be funny, okay? I only made one blooper, so. All kidding aside, I thank you both candidates. This is going to conclude the presidential debate. I'm going to ask you not to recess just yet. Tony has just a few quick words he wants to say, and then we will have a short recess and continue with the vice presidential debate.
All right, delegates, I'm not going to keep you because we need to take a break and we have to move along, but I must clear my conscience, because when we started this process, I was very excited about making sure that we were able to live stream this. And we tested it before we got here, and when everybody took a break and when it got ready to go on, the data was not there. And I'm gonna be very candid with you. You know, I went to a dark place there because obviously I'm in an election. This is an election year, and everybody thinks, well, why would somebody do something like that? But I asked God, I said, my family wouldn't do that. That's just had to be something that happened that was a freak accident. So I'm not going to apologize, y'all, because I have a young man here that doesn't even work for her. His name is Christopher. Stand up, Christopher. I want to give him a round of applause. This man has worked tirelessly to get this back up. He works for the hotel. He volunteered to do this. He created that working with our staff person that's in Portland, Oregon, trying to get us rebuilt, and he rebuilt it. The two people I will apologize to is my brother, Jonathan, and my brother, AJ, because the people needed to see them have this conversation. And so I just wanted you to know that we're now ready to go. But yeah, I was a little disenchanted because I really, really in my mind, I went to a real dark place because nobody should ever do anything that will hurt this union or hurt the people out there to see who the next leaders are going to be. Because this is a changing of the guard. This is a changing of the guard. This is the first time in many, many years we've had two people that are not in office of the president. So I just want to say that, Christopher, on behalf of me and the NPC Council, we thank you from the bottom of our heart for the good work you've done, helped developing this, putting it back together. And we hope that we won't have any more malfunctions, but I will tell you that we've had 3 or 4 of the delegates, and I think also Keith, the co-chair, he's live streaming, and we do have it up there for people to see it. We'll be posting their debate on the line. But I just had to say this here because, like I said, I went to a dark place for a while, but I couldn't believe in my heart that anybody would deny our members the opportunity to see who they want to decide to be in our next generation. So I asked God to please take that out of my heart. He did, and I'm in a better place now. So y'all take a break. Thank you very much for listening to me. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hold on a second before you take a break. I just want to recognize my person in the room. This NPC was built on the backs of some great people. And I just want to recognize former co-chair, former state president of Pennsylvania, North Carolina president, Mr. Leroy Moyer. I'm sorry, I know you're going to kick me, but it's a great man. We just want to recognize you. I might not get that chance again, so thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate you.
Only one blooper so far. Only one blooper so far. I forgot the rotation for a second. Yeah. I can't wait to have a drink. I can't even begin to tell you.
Like a lot of opinions.
Yeah, I know. Me too. So let's see.
Oops. A little break. No.
live streaming the last two questions, so. Whose glasses are these? Yes, ma'am. If everybody can start making it to your seats, please, so that we can start promptly with an anticipated time at 4:35. Thank you. We'll give it just a few more minutes since the schedule said 4:35. Looks like we're all set. Hello again, APWU family. Welcome to the 2025 NPC presidential and vice presidential debates. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank those who are streaming in and joining us today, and apologize on behalf of the NPC that you were not able to view the beginning debate. At this time, we are going to commence with the vice presidential debate for APWU vice president. And we are going to start with the opening remarks in the way that the numbers were drawn. And Debbie will lead us, and we'll have up to 5 minutes for opening remarks.
Good afternoon, APWU family. Very excited to be here today, and I want to thank all of you for the opportunity and for being here with us, and for everyone that's out there in our TV land. And I'd like to just state firstly, that from a mobiller error, and that from a mobiller error, and becoming involved in the union has been an important part of my life. And my name is Debbie Zaretti, for those who are new here and for those out there watching. I've been your National Executive Vice President for the last 12 years. And finally, I feel so strongly that this team is the team that's going to make the biggest difference in all of our lives. I'm so proud to be a part of APWU Leadership Team 2025. I'm asking that you have faith in the 5 people that have contested races, and those candidates are AJ Jones, myself, Debbie Zaretti, Aaron Brown, Tony McKinnon, and Terry Martinez. I really feel that this team has come together and right at the right time. Historically, we are going through the most dangerous times of our life for the Postal Service, for our communities, for everyone who will be affected by the Postal Service if it's privatized. I have 46 years of union experience in organizing and servicing our members. I've been an arbitration advocate way back when we didn't have Joyce Robinson School, but I did go to the American Arbitration Association and also the Boulder, Colorado Labor School. And I enjoyed doing the minimum amount of cases that I was able to do out of Phoenix Metro, because we went into modified grievance procedure and then we ended up getting out of it very quickly. So I've been the local president for Phoenix Metro. That is the 5th largest local in the United States. And I was very proud to be president there. Mid-Hudson area local, a plant in New York with 105 associate offices. So out of all the time that I spent as a president, it was 18 years, including also 6 years as a state president for Arizona. So from West Coast, I used to be called Normal Ray of the West. And on the East Coast, I really feel like Mother Jones. I think that it's the time that we are praying for the dead, but we are fighting like hell for the living. And that's all of us. For the last 12 years, I followed my responsibility. And though I don't feel that I was actually utilizing my own potential, I did prepare myself to be involved and to follow through with the Constitution. So I wanted to take the Constitution and just read, because a lot of people don't understand what is a vice president's job. The executive vice president shall perform the duties of the president in case of the president's absence and inability to attend to the duties of the office. In the event of death or resignation of the president, the executive vice president shall replace him or her until the next national election. The executive vice president shall replace him or her until the next national election. Also, you'll be a member of the National Negotiations Committee and under the direction of the president, assisting in handling union business, and in the absence of the president, is authorized to sign checks. So daily, I did prepare myself throughout these last 12 years to make sure that I was keeping up on every single thing that happens in our union, everything that Mark was involved in, doing research on topics and things that we were going through, whether it was the consolidations, the suspensions. We've had so many things that have happened. And so I found my way to really step in when I wasn't given an assignment. I didn't care. I just wanted to do what I knew was best for our membership. And our membership, we all know, needs to become activists. They need to really be there for us, and we need to be there for them. And it takes a lot of work, but you can't all do it alone. And I'm anxious and excited because I really believe in the next 3 years, we're going to be making some major steps in that direction to be helping to get more people.
Vance will now offer his opening remarks.
Good afternoon, APWU family. Woo, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to have served you in so many capacities. A lot of you I've known for years. I've worked with you for years. We've had great success. Some of you I don't, so I'm going to spend just a few minutes explaining my past experience and I think it's applicable to what we need as the current vice president going forward. I started at the post office when I was 21. At 22, I became a union rep. Before I turned 23, I was the assistant clerk craft director over a local that had 1,600 clerks. I then became the maintenance craft director of the greater Cincinnati area local, and I then became the executive vice president. At 35, I became a national business agent. For 16 years, I was a national business agent, handled over 30,000 cases, arbitrated several hundred times, won hundreds of millions for our members as MBAs. For that position, I ran up. In 2017, I ran at the national level for Director of Industrial Relations, and I was successful. Now, key on 2017. So I went into office in November 2017. Do you know who else went into office in November 2017? This President Trump, the person that attacked the unions. He went after our unions. He stripped your rights. Think about this. Remember the NLRB and what we went through. I was with every union and every local union fighting what he tried to do. We fought him at the national level. I led that fight. Then he came and he had his administration decide that they reread the Hatch Act, that for almost 80 years, people have been reading the Hatch Act wrong, and he stripped our rights. And the way they read it is scabs could take leave off to go fight for Republican causes, but union members couldn't. There was one person that challenged that, one union. The NALC said you can't win it. The rural carriers, the mail handlers, none of them challenged it. I challenged that. We went to the NLRB, forced them to push it to arbitration. We won in arbitration, and I'll tell you, I'm ready to take Trump on now. All right? I'm ready. I have taken Trump on, and I can't wait. I apologize because I try not to curse. I'm going to do it. I'm ready to kick his ass again because it makes me mad that he's going to take our rights away, our hardworking members. I always like to remember one thing. There's at least 50,000 of our members working every hour of the day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We at least have 50,000 members working. And that's who we stand for. That's who we fight for. I love doing that. I was there 2018 under the Trump administration. I led the interest arbitration where we got the steps back and we were successful. We reversed in the right direction the two-tier system. Back to the Hatch Act for a minute. The DOJ actually took that all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the APWU led that, and they failed. I'm really proud that the current PMG, when they failed, he immediately got called over Congress and said, how the hell did the APWU beat you? We gave you every attorney, the DOJ, all their sources, but we stood firm and we did it. And that's what we need to do for our members now. We need to put together a team. So that's the first reason I'm running. The second reason, we're getting a new PMG, a PMG that's hand-appointed by Trump. If you read the goexecutive.com today, there's a 41-page plan that he had when he got voted out of office in the first term that I've read, and it's awful. And he's continuing to roll that out when Steiner comes in. Steiner is from Waste Management. He was anti-union then, he's going to be anti-union now. AJ liked to talk about toolboxes, tools. I'm thinking that on the tool that the APW needs to be there's Jonathan or AJ to fight the membership. Because we're going to be fighting them in court, we're going to be fighting them in NLRB, we'll be fighting them in interest arbitration. In 3 years with our contract, we'll be fighting on regular arbitration, we'll be fighting them legislatively. I've worked well with a lot of the current officers. Real fast, in 2022, for a family situation, my daughter was struggling with addiction. My grandkids were about to go into foster care, so I stepped down. I'm proud to say my daughter's been clean for 25 months, and she has fully her grandkids back. And if anybody, I'll answer any question you have out there, but I'm going to show you my grandkids and my daughter and how great she looks. Thank you.
You're welcome, no problem. Thank you both. I just want to take this quick moment to, since our audience or members that are actually joining us live were not aware, we're going to move to the questions part of the debate, and just want to make you all aware that the candidates had no idea what the questions were in advance, and they will be asked randomly as we draw them in front of you today. The first question will be posed to Debbie, and it is, what do you think is the most important duty of the Vice President?
The most important duty of the Vice President is to make sure that we are representative, that we have a voice on our e-board, that we also stand strong to look for policies and procedures and things that are necessary for this union to run smoothly. We also, the important thing is with the national negotiations. That's a very important part of the Vice President's job, because they are also a part of the negotiation committee, and they need to be utilized more. However, there are situations with our Constitution that the language does not always allow a Vice President to do everything that they would like to do. But there is very important reason to be a Vice President, and that is to make sure that on the executive board that we have a voice, and I believe that I do have the voice of our membership at heart, and to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. And if not, then we need to go forward as a executive board. The problem is we weren't really running as a team effort. There was more of isolated one or two people running the show. So with that, thank you.
Vance, what do you think is the most important duty of the Vice President?
I believe the most important duty of the Vice President is to be ready to be President if called upon. The Vice President should be qualified enough to believe that he or she is ready to take this role of President. God forbid something happens to the President, but that is the key role of Vice President. There's many other duties that the Vice President should be able to do. We've heard about Mo Biller. I don't want to forget about his Vice President, Bill Burris, from my great state of Ohio. Bill Burris was a Vice President that was there. There's a whole book of what he negotiated when he was Vice President. So Vice President can take a very active role in contract negotiations, assisting the DIR, assisting the President. He or she should be there to assist the President with guidance and give input. And then ultimately, what the President decides on issues or the Executive Board, he or she should carry that out. So I believe I'm well qualified to step in as President if called on and lead this union. I've negotiated MOUs. I've handled interest arbitrations. Both presidential candidates talked about the rough time this union went through with COVID, as our workers worked tirelessly as workers on the front line. I was there to assist and work that. So I think I have the past experience to show that I have the qualifications to step in as President if called on, if needed. So that's what I think is most important. Thank you.
Debbie, would you like an opportunity for a 1-minute rebuttal?
As I stated in my opening, I do have 12 years of experience as the Executive Vice President. And as I said also, that I have been prepared every day to be able to take that position if it's necessary. It just happened to not be necessary at that time. A lot of the things that Vance speaks on is dealing with him in the role of Industrial Relations Director, which is a lot different. He doesn't have someone who's over him telling him what you will or will not do. So the bottom line is that, yes, that is the most important part, is to be able to take over if something was to happen. And I am ready and willing to do that at any moment. I think 12 years of that, plus 46 years in the union movement, adding all of that together, really stands strong for the ability to be able to take on a job, to know that we're doing it as a team, not as an individual.
We will move to the second question, and we will begin with Vance. Describe one of your most challenging advocacy moments. How did you approach the situation, and what was the outcome?
The most challenging advocacy moments, I could tell you several as MBAs, but I think maybe the most challenging advocacy moments was the 2018 interest arbitration that I led, as management was trying to strip a lot of our rights, and we had to work collectively with the craft directors and the core committee, and did a great job. And I believe the outcome of the 2018 interest arbitration was good. We were able to get additional steps back. We protected all our rights and moving forward. So I would say that was the most difficult advocacy that I had to do. And I think the results were very good, because I'm very proud of getting the steps back and starting to reverse the 2011 regressive contract that was signed. And so I'll just stick with that one. I've got about 10 in, but if I start, there's no way I can get 10 in 3 minutes. So, all right, thank you.
Debbie, describe one of your most challenging advocacy moments. How did you approach the situation, and what was the outcome?
I would say one of the challenging parts of the job as vice president was working under a president that didn't particularly care much about me and didn't feel that I could do the job. And so the bottom line was, when you had to deal with that on a daily basis, you kept going forward. You didn't give up. You didn't quit. You didn't resign. And I think that was one of the harder things to do, especially many, many times being in front of a convention or any kind of videos and projects that we're doing, and not being able to get credit for any of the work that I do, whereas everybody else was getting more credit. And it's very hard to work under those situations. And I'm telling you that it's like a miracle that we have A.J. Jones running for office. I'm really excited to have him step up, and I believe that as a team, there's going to be some great things that are going to happen. Better negotiations nationally on our contract, and there is going to be a fight, believe me. There is no way that we are not going to fight this issue of privatization and just let the Postal Service fall apart. Not on our watch.
Thank you. Vance, would you like an opportunity for a 1-minute rebuttal? You're welcome. The next question will begin with Debbie. In our current climate, what do you intend to accomplish to better our union? What would you say is the most focus, and why?
When getting into the office again, I think the most important thing is going to be looking at the picture of what other attacks will occur, whether it be legislatively, whether it be the privatization issue. Those are things that are on top of our plates. That's got to get done. The other thing is I've been working on a project since last year, trying to help and assist locals to be able to get their membership ready for the of something that we may all have to do because of the attacks, not just on APWU, but on all the other unions. We have to stand strong together. We have to build this movement. And that takes a lot of work. It takes time. It takes releasing people. As AJ said, the surrogates, that have them out there being able to help locals side by side, to pull together our members. We know we need this. And, you know, movements are not made without numbers. And all through history, it has been proven that we have been able to win our issues when we have the people behind us and in front of us and on side of us. So we've got to do that work, and that's got to be ASAP, because we don't have much time. We really don't have that much time left. And we need to be able to get people out there helping each other to make the mark that all of us have about why we're standing strong for the union, and to make sure that we're going to have a postal service in 20, 30, 40 years. So I think that is probably one of the most important goals, is for us to start working on that right away. We don't have time. I hate the thought of that. It's still, you know, November is when we take office, because we don't really have a lot of time to waste. But I'm doing my best and my part to try to push out this program, to try to help locals, their executive boards, to be able to make a difference and get some more membership on board, get some of the young people on board. And with all of your help, we can do it. And I feel like we'll all have that faith to really make a difference and to see APWU soar.
So on day one, I would meet with the president and come up with a plan about the privatizations. It's no secret what the Trump administration and the PMG is going to do. In the first administration, we had a PMG resign when he came up with the plan. We have a copy of the plan. You can go out and find it. We should go case by case, figure this is how we're going to talk legislatively and court, and have it lined up. We should be making efforts to look what happens if they attack our dues, or what are we doing now, what the unions, the federal unions are doing, and taking direct deposits. We should get everything in line. We know what the attacks are coming. It's a unique situation when we have the playbook. It was from 2017. We need to take that and look at it and go play by play by play. Some will attack in court, some will have to talk on the streets, some's legislatively. And work closely with the president to help him craft a plan to succeed. And then once we give that plan, let the members and the locals know. Because I think the key to activating our members is making them believe that they can make a difference. And that's what I think we have to do. And so if we just say, we need to fight, everybody can say you're going to fight. You need some concrete things you're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what we can plan. And this is how we're going to attack this issue. A lot of you are local presidents out there, or all of you are officers that are out there. You know, catchwords are easy, but what you need to do is make a plan to make things happen. So what I would look forward to doing on day one of election is working with our new president to line up a plan how to attack each one of those things. And sort of just like arbitration. How many of you guys have done arbitrations or advocates, all right? When you do an arbitration, you plan for what management may do. You have 10 items that they're going to attack. If they attack 5, guess what? You're ready for all 10, and that's great. So we know what he wanted to do, and if we prepare for each one individually and ready, and then let our local leaders know so they can let the members know to give them that confidence. Because our members, the worst thing people hate is unknown. And that's what we got to give to our members, is faith, and tell them how we're going to address the unknown. And that's what I would do, work with the president to do on day one. Thank you.
Debbie, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal?
Well, we haven't seen that kind of playbook. Maybe it was in 2017, but I'm going to tell you what we do have. Yes, we are fighting the thought about trying to protect our due structure. We've been working with other unions to be able to see if there's a way that we can protect it. But the bottom line, dealing with plans, strategies have to be made, but they have to be made with the team, not individuals. And again, it's just another situation where we've had scenarios where 2 or 3 people know what they're doing, but the rest of the board does not. We really need to strategize, and that's why I'm very excited about our team, because we have pledged to each other that this is going to be an amazing team that's going to work like a team, and we're going to strategize, and we're going to come out with help for all of the locals in every level, whether it be local or regional.
The next question, the first respondent will be Vance. Show me the number again, please. How will you support the APWU movement to protect the public postal service?
I believe that's sort of similar to the last question. It's a several-pronged approach, depending on what the attack is, depending on how we attack it. Some will have to be attacked in the streets, some will have to be attacked legislatively, some will have to be attacked in court, and the main thing that we have to do, whichever one of those avenues we're attacking, so it can't be a single approach. We have to get the whole executive board on board. We have to let the president ultimately make the decision after talking to the executive board, and then we will find out if we are going to attack legislatively or legislatively in court or legislatively in court and on the street. But we've had great results when we have got the public involved, and I think that's one of the ways that we protect the Postal Service is we make sure we don't make it Democrat and Republican. When Trump's doing something, we need to focus on that because we have a lot of support for the Postal Service and rural America with the Republican congressman. So we need to make sure we focus it on those issues, and I think we're much more successful protecting the Postal Service when we stick with issues. So we need to take those issues, take them to the public, take them to court, take them to legislative, depending on which one it is. And if you give me like a specific one, I can tell you exactly what my strategy would be for that. But that broad question has a broad answer. It takes involvement of everybody in the union and activating them. It takes the attorneys we have at headquarters and working with those, and we have a great group of attorneys that we're very fortunate to have. And so those strategies together can work together to make our Postal Service strong and we save it. Like I said, he came at us before and we were successful. We just need to make sure we have the tools in place. And I believe on that tool to help protect the Postal Service in this next attack by the administration.
Debbie, how will you support the APWU movement to protect the public postal service?
So one of the key things that we have on our side is all of our communities, the people around the country. We've done surveys recently that show that we still have about 78% of our communities that still support the Postal Service. But the issues have been a lot of delayed mail, problems that have not been fixed, and the Delivery for America plan that has just totally brought us to the bottom. We need to make sure that we come up with a way to be able to get us back to the delivering to everyone in America, but with an actual ability to have a strategy where we're changing the mail flow and making sure that it's prompt service, not delayed service. And, you can talk about it for a long time about, yes, we don't believe in the Delivery for America plan, but we also need to come up with a solution that we can try to get management to buy into. And if not management, our legislative leaders, because that could be easily put into legislation to be able to show that we need to turn this around, we need to stop the Delivery for America plan, and we need to move forward on actually finding the strategy and the way to get us back to where we have overnight service. Many people have mentioned that they thought it would be good to bring the machines back. That might not work in every place, but we need to come up with some solution to be able to do that. And so to me, that's number one in trying to get the confidence back from our people out in the country and letting them know that, yes, the Postal Service can be the service that they remembered and that we are there for them, because without us, there's a lot of people, whether it be businesses or organizations, that are going to lose many, many things, and all of our customers are going to end up having to pay lots of money. As everyone has seen, the the actual web, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Yes, Wells Fargo, that report, it was unbelievable. It actually told you what they were going to do. So we have their plan. We just need to make our plan and make sure that we have a way of changing this around and getting our service back to where it needs to be. One of the other issues is also staffing, and that's another big thing that we need to make sure that we get more staffing so that we have enough people to be able to get that service back on track.
Vance, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal? Passing on the rebuttal. We will move on to the next question. The next question is, the Vice President must be ready to assume the President's duties at any moment. Describe your experience within the APWU or other leadership roles that have specifically prepared you to step into that top leadership position, including navigating complex negotiations or challenging situations.
So over the last 12 years, we've done a number of things to deal with fighting consolidation, fighting suspensions, fighting closures. The issue that we need to deal with at this point is to try to be able to look at how we can actually save the Postal Service. The number one thing about being able to pull together and stand strong, we still need to do that. We need to, as far as strategies and things that we've gone through so far that were lessons learned, we probably should have gotten rid of DeJoy much earlier. There's issues that deal with the legislative. We haven't done as much that we could have done in the legislative arena to be able to help protect the Postal Service. But bottom line, we also have not done enough in the legal area of being able to make sure that we file the lawsuits that are necessary that violate our laws in the United States of America. There's so many laws that we haven't really addressed, and I'm hoping that we will be able to do that as a team effort and be able to make a difference in our union through those struggles and being able to actually put out a good fight.
Thank you. Vance, we'll ask you the same question. The Vice President must be ready to assume the President's duties at any moment. Describe your experience within the APWU or other leadership roles that have specifically prepared you to step into that top leadership position, including navigating complex negotiations or challenging situations.
So I'll just address a few of the negotiations that in the COVID memos. I was the author of the COVID memos and negotiated those. If you notice the COVID memos, if you look at other unions, we had stronger language for our members' rights. I was the chief spokesperson and worked with the very well and Liz and the core committee and Debbie. that led a great contract, I think, in 2021. So that had to have a leadership role there to keep us all together and to get that. That's where we got the PSE automatic conversions of 2 years I'm very proud of. That's where we made more steps to get back and get rid of the two-wage system that separates our union. I was able to, the LMOU, without a union structure, I was able to negotiate that with working with regional coordinators and at the time, Assistant Clerk Craft Director Lamont Brooks. And so we had to work as a team and work together, but I was the lead on that. So I've been the lead on the 2018 interest arbitration as the local vice president. When the president was off, I stepped in as the president role there. When there was an MBA vacancy, I stepped in that MBA vacancy and then kept that for 15 years. So at every level, I've been ready to step up, and I'm ready to step up and fill the role of president if called upon. So that's my past experience to do that. I think that's what I would ask you to do when deciding who best fits that role, is to look at the past experience. Both of our candidates for president have talked about they want aggressive actions going forward and accomplishments. I ask you to look for my aggressive representation. I'll tell you one thing, I guarantee you, I'm the only candidate, maybe ever, that have currently got in a fight in the middle of the street with a current PMG. People were YouTubing, not saying it was my wisest moment, but literally in the middle of the street of Washington, D.C., because he lied and he was disrespecting our members. So, again, that's the kind of tenacity I bring to this level. I'm proud of it. He backed down. Let's get straight. We're in the middle of the street. The cars are beeping. I wouldn't back down, and he went across the street. I was getting a little turned because it's probably somewhere on YouTube because there's a lot of people around taking videos. But I showed my leadership role when management wasn't keeping their word and was disrespecting our members. I didn't take it. And that's what both candidates for president is promising. And that's why I'm proud to be known for a long time as Bulldog, because I hang on to an issue and I don't let go.
Did you answer it? Did you just answer it? Okay. Yeah. Deb, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal? Thank you.
I understand that there are a lot of things about being a president and also being a vice president. And as vice president, the important thing is to remember is to try to keep your cool. And I'm going to say that there have been some situations with behavior issues that I have personally with Vance, and I've had other people come to me and report personal issues as well. I just don't want to take chances to have someone who has more harm than good. And so with that, I just want to say that I would really feel that it's very important that we are able to stay professional and to stay cool and to make sure that we're on our best behavior.
Thank you both. I'm just going to ask, as the chair, for not have sidebar conversations. Thank you. The next question, we will start with Vance. And here is your question. What can you do to address the current workplace violence issues within the USPS? How would you help improve policies that are more effective?
I do believe this is one of the most difficult things to address in the Postal Service. The grievance procedure is not the answer because you get a settlement that says, the people we treat these managers say, I am treating them with dignity and respect. So, answer, there are some processes in place. We do have a committee that we set up at headquarters. This is the most difficult answer to give, how I would work with the president to correct this, because I don't think there is a magical pill. There isn't a magical answer. It's a lot of times it is our employees on our employees, the PSC and the career employees, out of control management, people that are fearful. We have to find a way and continue to work on it, but to say, this is what I'll do on day one to correct that and guarantee you that, I can't do that. This is one of the things that has plagued me for years, how to solve this problem. And it plagues a lot of our locals and it upsets a lot of our people. So this is a major issue, and I understand it's a major issue, and it's something that the executive board needs to work on, trying to find a solution with locals. We have brought in local officers, NBAs, and strategized to try to come up with some solutions. We've come up with some plans. Quite honestly, those plans have not been that effective, so we need to keep going back to the drawing board and trying to fix a solution. As you notice, most things that I get asked, I have a plan that I think will address a problem and what we should do. This is one of the ones that has plagued me for years, that there is not a simple answer to this. But all I can tell you is that we need to continue to try, because our members deserve a workplace free of harassment and safety. And so we need to continue to try, but I do not have a magic bullet. Thank you.
Debbie, what can you do to address the current workplace violence issues within the USPS? How would you help improve policies that are more effective?
Actually, this last year in negotiations, I had put together some research on dealing with toxic work environment, where we've had other federal agencies that had EEO cases filed against them, and then there were awards, and there were things that we might have that we were missing in our task force language, such as dealing with monitoring. We've had situations where we have supervisors and managers that move from one place to the next, and they're constantly doing their best to harass our workers. And we needed to have things monitored. We've only had a few arbitrators who've really stuck their neck out and have been able to say that when a person has been caught and involved in that kind of hostile work environment or toxic work environment, they have been told that they're going to have a record for so many years, a couple of years, and maybe not work for employees, work with employees anymore. But the bottom line is there are more things that we can do. And hopefully, since we weren't able to get anywhere in negotiations on this issue of toxic work environment, we do have a new labor relations manager. He supposedly specializes in ethics in the Postal Service. So we're going to have to check on that and see if there's some way that we can lean in and get him to look at these issues. It has been a problem for a long, long time. There's been investigations left and right, and OIG, and the program is failing constantly, where management doesn't even put the information into the file that's supposed to be addressing harassment cases. So yes, that's something that we really need to work on, and I think that there are ways to make it a little bit better, and I would set that up as one of my goals to also help with our team being able to work together more and be able to pull something out to be able to provide better language and better ways of disciplining and going after the harasser, and being able to make sure that they either get the help they need or they're out the door. The bottom line is it is very disgusting to think that it's over 63% of our members have said in the latest survey that actually we have problems with hostile work environment. Our task force, as far as being able to get anywhere with management, we had a terrible manager that could not deal with sexual harassment issues. And so we needed to do a little bit more. And like I said, we tried through negotiations to get some clearer language, but it hasn't happened yet. but I'm hoping and looking forward to getting something done.
Vance, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal? Thank you.
I do believe that we could do a better job from the national level down, educating with all the tools that are out there currently. It takes much too long to hold a manager responsible with the tools we have, but there are in place, and we don't, because it's not as easy as, oh, this overtime grievance is here, and this is how you win it, et cetera. It's something that we don't teach enough from the national level, is all the different procedures, because what does management do? They never follow the rules. And so we need to look for new solutions, but we also need to take what we have and pursue those and educate the locals and the members on those rights.
Thank you. The next question will be for Debbie first. And the question is, how would you ensure that the concerns and needs of all members are addressed and valued regardless of the size and structure of their respective locals?
Well, we have a system in place at headquarters for dealing with complaints most of the time when there are issues with whether it's a small local or a large local. They've got to go through the process within their constitution, and there's a way to appeal those cases up to the headquarters level. And we do try our best to resolve them the best we can, but I would say that we could always improve in that area. So number one, that would be something else that we need to look forward to doing, to make sure that locals feel that they're heard. I know we get letters all the time, somebody complaining about another union. Look at doing something where we send out an advocate or a mediator to try to see if we can fix the local issues in a way that they all come out being together and working towards the goal of what we need done in the locals and the state organizations.
Yes. Vance, how would you ensure that the concerns and needs of all members are addressed and valued regardless of the size and structure of their respective locals?
So that is something I think that we did a good job in the 2021 contract negotiations. We did a lot for the PTFs, the local MOU out without a union structure, which is for all those small offices. We're constantly looking at the APO, RMPO. How can we take those small locals that feel left out and think that the national union only cares about the large locals? So we need to keep pursuing those issues for the clerks and the custodians out those offices, and keep pushing for the PTFs, the PSEs that are in the RMPOs. We did a good job getting the 4-hour guarantees. We took a national arbitration, the APO, RMPO together, where they had to count the custodians. We looked at those, they were part-time regular custodians, the lowest level paid and getting the fewest hours. We fought for those people, and we got those combined and got some career positions out of that. They continue, the clerk craft, and they're doing a good job, continues to push to get opportunities for PSEs to transfer that are in the RMPOs. So we need to continue to make sure these smaller locals that are mainly made of APOs or RMPOs understand what we're doing for them, and that we understand their concerns and we hear them and that we care about them. So we need to do more and more just to educate and push not only what we have done for them, what we continue to try to do for them in negotiations and MOUs, et cetera. So we need to do more communications to the small locals about what we've done for them in the last contracts and what we continue to want to do to them and fight for them in their rural communities and their smaller offices. Thank you.
Debbie, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal? Thank you.
Yes, and speaking of the small locals versus large locals, when we're not having problems within personal issues that have come up. We have negotiated more language to include the small offices, especially this last one. And I feel very strongly that one of the biggest things is about communications to the outside locals. It's hard to get out there to travel from one place to another, and we really do need to figure a way of being able to reach everyone. Zoom is not everything. We really do need to figure a way of being able to reach everyone. Zoom is not everything. That doesn't always connect everyone. It really is that one-on-one relationship that you need to have with the members out there. And so we need to work a little harder on that, and I would love to have a program where we actually hit a lot of the smaller locals in rural areas so that they actually see someone and understand that they need to stand strong with the union.
Next question. We'll start with Vance. What will be your top 3 priorities in your first 100 days if elected as vice president, and how will you measure your own success?
My top priority will be working with the president and the executive board to set a group of things going forward that we all agree on and all are working on. So as vice president, I don't think I have individual priorities. I will be pushing to prepare for the privatization that's coming and what we can do. But to say what is my 3 personal agenda items to get done, it's to protect this union, to make a life better for our members, but it's got to be an agenda for the whole executive board. It's got to be an agenda for the president. And so that's broad things. I think the best personal way I'll gauge my success in 100 days is if I'm assisting the president to make him a better president for a stronger union and a seat on the executive board to make our union stronger, our health plan stronger. So mainly it will be to have a cohesive unit with the president, whoever it may be, and a cohesive unit with the executive board to make us stronger, working together, because there's a lot of knowledge on that executive board. I didn't sit down to calculate, but I'm sure, which we talk about our experience on the executive board, there's got to be several hundred years of experience, some from small offices, some from MVS, and that's there's 13 of us, all right? So you had 10 years each, it's 130. So it's nothing about how many offices, but if we've all been here 30 years, that's 300 or 400 years of experience. Some come from maintenance, come from MVS, support services, some from smaller offices, some for larger offices. So we all have something to add. So my success personally would be making sure that I'm gelling with the president, giving him what he needs so the APWU can succeed, and getting the executive board all rowing in one way. Thank you.
Debbie, what will be your top 3 priorities in your first 100 days if elected as vice president, and how will you measure your own success?
There are 3 top priorities I would have that deals with our national executive board and pulling together, having our strategy meetings, definitely fighting privatization because that's at our doorstep, and we need to make sure that that's a #1 priority. We also need to make sure that we're meeting on a more regular basis, as well as the NBAs, as well as being able to have more contacts with the locals and the states, because the communication we haven't had as well as we should have. And I think that we can do this within the next 100 days from November when we get sworn in. I'd love to see it now because we do really need it now as well. The whole key issue is to make sure we're all on the same page when we're fighting this privatization. We need everybody. And the only way that's going to happen is that we have the steps where we're actually making sure that we are communicating constantly, and that we do not have times where there's this big space and everybody's wondering what's happening, what's going on. We really need to make sure that our communications are top-notch and we're reaching everyone all the way down to the workroom floor.
Vance, would you like your opportunity for rebuttal?
Yes. I think what we should be judged on is not the first 100 days, is how we lead this union through the Trump administration and the attacks in Congress, and if we can come out stronger going through it to the end. That's what we should judge our national officers on. Not 100 days, not 150 days, not 3 months, but is the APWU stronger at the end of the Trump administration than when we take office in November? And that's how I'll personally judge myself, whether I'm successful or not, whether I've protected this union, worked with the executive board, worked with the president to see us through this troubling times, and I've used my experience to do that. So I think that's the way I would like to be judged, and I think that we can work together and guide our way through this.
This will be our last question. And we will start with Debbie. With a new president coming into office who may lack prior experience in that specific role, how will you, as National Vice President, proactively leverage your own experience and understanding of the APWU's operations, challenges, and constitutional duties to ensure a smooth and effective transition of leadership while still upholding your primary role?
Yes, I think that's a very important part of that, the fact that we have a president that may not have had the role of president, but he has been, and I guess if Jonathan was to win, he doesn't have the experience at the e-board level. But as far as AJ is concerned, he's on the executive board. He has watched and seen what's been going on at the national level, what our priorities are, how we have whether we have strategized or not. And I think that he will be holding a meeting with the board, and I think that we'll be able to come together on the major issues that need to be handled right away. And I feel that I will always be there for AJ. I've known him for 35 years. He's someone I trust so much. And his viewpoint of the membership being first is the same as mine. So I would spend whatever time he needs to be able to assist and help in any way. But he's got a whole executive board. Like I said, our team, we have 25 people on our team, and they do have vast experiences, and I believe that all of us together are going to make a powerful difference.
Vance, with a new national president coming into office who may lack prior experience in that specific role, how will you, as National Vice President, proactively leverage your own experience and understanding of the APWU's operations, challenges, and constitutional duties to ensure a smooth and effective transition of leadership while still upholding your primary role?
First of all, I'd like to say, whoever is elected president, Jonathan Smith or AJ, I'll be glad to work with both of them. Because I'm running not for the position, I'm running for the membership, the hard men and women that work on the workroom floor every day. That's why I'm running, all right? I'm not running because I don't like something on the executive board, et cetera. So whoever is elected, they have a vision and they've laid out their vision. What I will do with my experience, in one way or the other, in some very small amounts, but since the 2006 contract, I've been involved in national negotiations And in the early years, they were small parts, and for a few contracts, they were just solely the maintenance crafts. But I've got that history. I've got the history of interest arbitrations all the way back. I've got the history of legislative things. So I will use my personal experience as a national officer for 21 years, advocating at the national level, advocating at the regional level. When I ran for DIR, I was the senior maintenance MBA. I will use those experience to give sort of the history of what we may have tried, what we've done, and see how we can learn from those things to make the union more successful and to take the vision of the new president and make him successful, because if he's successful, the national union's successful, our membership's successful, and our membership becomes more active, we become stronger, and we can lead this union movement, and that's what I want to do. I want to be there for whoever the president is, whether it's AJ or Jonathan. They're both passionate. I've worked with them a lot, both in their current positions, and I've worked well with them. So I look forward, if you give me the honor of being the next executive vice president, I will work with them to give them my experience, my knowledge, things that have been tried, things that have failed, things that we can try and maybe we can learn from our failures, things that we've already done in court, things that we've had to do, and lay those experiences out. And then that experience lets them know, like, okay, we need to move over here, or we need to discuss it over there. And so I want to bring that wealth of knowledge to the president to help them, because with a new president, I like to say there's got to be an adjustment period, which is, it's nothing against anybody that becomes president. There's going to be an adjustment period. So you need that adjustment period where we're against a new PNG and Trump. So we need, as much as we can, somebody that has a deep knowledge of our contract, our legislative issues going way back. And that's what I want to provide as executive vice president, if you guys give me the honor of doing that. Thank you.
Debbie, would you like an opportunity for rebuttal?
I just want to make it clear, I wasn't saying that if Jonathan became president, that I wouldn't be supporting him and helping him through. Obviously, he would need a lot more help, because he has, as far as on the e-board, he hasn't seen a lot of the things that go on at the e-board. And believe me, when you first get up here at the national level, there are a number of issues that must be handled. There's a lot of responsibilities, and it's really important for us to be able to make sure that we're sharing information. And I have no doubt that our e-board is going to be a team e-board. And if Jonathan was to win as well, he would be more than welcomed into the e-board, and we, of course, would be sharing with him information. So I didn't want to make sure that that it was taken in the wrong thing, because I didn't mean it to be disrespectful.
Okay, with the final question being asked and answered, we are going to move to the closing remarks of both of our candidates. We will begin in inverse order of how the opening remarks were asked. So at this time, I will invite Vance up for his up to 5 minutes closing remarks. Thank you.
So it's been a pleasure speaking to you and anybody out there that's watching or watching in the future. I just do want to give just a little more clarity about AJ and Jonathan. Before AJ was the regional coordinator, I had him as one of my area safety reps. We worked well together. Jonathan, I've reached out numerous times when I was an NBA to discuss maintenance issues, when I was the DIR to discuss issues that was happening in his local. New York Metro was the forefront when it came to COVID, because they were struck so bad into COVID. So he was the leader there, and I was reaching out to him for what was happening on the ground. So I can work well with both of these individuals, and I look forward to working well with these individuals, because we got to remember what this is about and who this is for. It's not about an executive board. It's not about some person. These are men and women that go to work every day so they can provide for their kids. It's a basic right that you should be able to go to work, make enough money to take care of your kids and your family, an apartment and a car. And that's what drives me every day to want to be an APW officer. I'm currently the Ohio Administrative Vice President. I also sit on the AFL-CIO board, the state of Ohio. Since I was 22, I've been representing this union all but 30 days. I had to step down to take care of my grandkids and help my daughter out. But 30 days later, I was advocating cases. I was the administrative executive vice president in Ohio and on the Ohio Executive Board. So I look forward to representing and working with all of you in the future. I hope you give me that opportunity. I look forward to working with the MBAs. I have vast experience. I look forward to working with the crowd for this position. I think he recognizes what I bring to the table. I think he recognizes the attack that we're under and what I can bring to this table. So I'm very proud and honored of that. And I would hope that when you give consideration, ask me any questions you may have, and I'll explain my vision more. I've advocated too long. My 2-minute answers are always 10 or 15-minute answers. So I look forward to talking to anybody, answering any questions you have. I would really appreciate your support so I can continue to protect the membership the way I would work to do under the last Trump administration. So that's what I would ask in your deliberations with your locals, is to look the first Trump administration with the attacks. How did we come out? And there is a plan that's been in place. You can go to goexecutive.com. It's been out since 2017. Megan Brennan stepped down because she wouldn't do it. And luckily, we voted Trump out. So there is a plan in place by the Trump administration. On December 16th last year, he said he was going to implement that plan. He thought it was a great idea. So he hasn't got to it, but guess what? With this new PMG, I think we're short-lived, and I think about next fall, when we're switching officers, I think that's when it's going to happen. And I look forward to working with the executive board, working with the new president to protect this union and keep us strong and coming out stronger on the other end. So thank you very much.
Debbie, please take this opportunity to offer your final closing remarks.
I want to thank everybody for being here and taking the time to listen to both sides of this debate as far as our election. APWU runs through my blood, and I believe that I am here because this is a historic time. We have a new change in the presidency, and it's going to make a big difference, I believe, for our executive board, for our NBAs, and for our membership. I am very excited to be on this team, and I want to say that I'm hoping that we don't have an I person or a dictator. We really do need the APW Leadership Team 2025. We don't have time for that. We really need to make sure that we have a team effort working for APWU. I also want to be able to make sure that you know that I have your backs. I'm very open. I have had experiences that to bring to members a new program to fight privatization. It's one of the most important things, as we have said already before, and I don't want to repeat it, but we do have a plan to be able to reach out to get our members to start thinking about a movement. Because the issue is this: there are unions all over this country that at some point we're going to have to make a decision if we will stand up and actually be in possibly a general strike. And we don't want to not have the people in our membership behind us and with us. It's so important right now to start building, And so with that, I want to say that no matter what happens, I am always going to be working for the APWU because, again, like I said, it has been my life. I would never leave this union. I couldn't do it. I felt that the importance at the national level to be able to have a team, we haven't had it in a while. I just want to make sure that we are going in the right direction. And I feel so confident with this team. I really would appreciate all of you to support our team. There are 25 people on that list. And when you take a look at all the years, as even Vance mentioned, we do have a lot of experience, qualifications, and for us to work together, we have agreed that we want to be a team. We really do need your support. And again, like I said, I think that we can really make a difference. You will see that myself personally, you may not have seen my full potential, but I'm very excited to show you what I have. Because in the next 3 years, I think it's going to be an amazing time. And I'm going to be there for all of you. And I want to say, too, that my values, my motivation, and my over 46 years of working with this union really should make a difference when you think about voting. And the fact that we all want to be working together, it's important to have the people that you have requested to work with each other. So I want to say stand with me and the APW leadership team of 2025. Please vote for our proven leadership. And as we go forward, I feel like you're all going to be actually very amazed that it could happen, that APWU finally will see solidarity. Not just solidarity, but going back and looking at trying to pull our other unions together. We always have talked about one union, but we haven't gotten that far. And, you know, we started something back in 2014. We had sign-offs on all the other unions that we pledged to work together, and it kind of just died out. We need to pull that back and bring those along with us. It's so ridiculous for us to be fighting each other. So again, I really appreciate that you spent all this time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you both. Thank you to all the candidates in the audience who participated here today. I am truly humbled to have served as your moderator today. May the future of the APWU and all of those within this great union be blessed as we move forward in solidarity, strength, and love. This debate is concluded. Oh, can everybody hold on one moment, please?
Can y'all stand in place just a second? Christensen, could you come up here, brother? You, yes. Look, without him, we wouldn't have got what we had, and Miriam and I felt so strongly about this hearing. You didn't ask for this hearing, but we go to a lot of hotels where the technician sits in the back, does not get involved in anything that we do. This man rebuilt this website for us. We just want to say thank you so much, and we'll give you $200. Now get ready to go party. Hold on.
I have a pair of glasses up here. I'm not sure if they're AJ's or somebody that was up at the podium. AJ, Jonathan? No? I've been asked to ask you to hang on one more second. Hey, this is about food and beer. I've been asked to ask you to hang on one more second. Hey, this is about food and beer. Whoa. Yeah. All right, the buses will be picking you up downstairs. We do have a good bit of parking at our office, so if you